Hi, everyone.
Hi,
Welcome to the second episode of Schooled.
welcome.
On today's episode, we are going to try and figure out who the fork Elliott Ness is.
Yeah, okay.
And I have no idea what your topic is.
So mine is earliest Homo sapiens, so it's a little different than yours.
I can't wait to see how you bridge these.
Yeah,
Every time we try and bridge the topic so that somehow there's some sort of it all comes full circle.
board the train
Board the train.
from this topic to this topic.
Yeah. So click on the link below if you want to see the full version of Homo's. What was it again?
Homo sapiens and
Who the
who the
fork
fork is
is
Elliott
Elliott
Ness.
Ness. All right. So I just wanted to talk about my outfit really quick.
Sure.
So just to timestamp this video, today is wild card weekend. I said this weekend is wild card weekend. And today the Cowboys play Green Bay, which I'm excited about. So I'm sporting my Dallas Cowboys. That's a lie. I'm lying right now.
You're lying.
I have something actually to tell you. This is not my sweatshirt.
Really?
The Here's what I came to realize about 30 minutes ago. The only Dallas Cowboys sweatshirt that I have is the one that your parents gave me last year for Christmas. This is actually my daughter's sweatshirt.
Wow.
I know.
I mean, cool that you can fit in it.
What I'm saying is that my birthday's coming up and I love this sweatshirt or something to this degree.
Okay.
And,
And it can have any football team on it or
no,
no?
no, it has to have the Dallas
Okay.
Cowboys. So, or I can just steal this from my daughter. She doesn't wear it.
Okay.
I think I actually gave this to her in an effort to make her a Cowboys fan about 3 years ago. It didn't work. Anyway, so,
Anyway,
so the Dallas Cowboys are playing the Packers today in about an hour. And
exciting times.
I am excited. I'm thinking, here's the thing. Part of me, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. So it's like, I've always said that the Dallas Cowboys and men, until I met you, have been disappointing me since 1995.
That's really funny.
So I'm just used to disappointment. I'm used to us getting cut, let's say, for going out in the first round of the playoffs, but we're playing the Packers, who shouldn't even be in the playoffs. So I'm hopeful.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Would you like my opinion on it?
Oh, this should be funny.
All
Yes.
right.
Yes.
So my opinion is that I will I'm looking forward to playing Zelda during the game because it gives me an excuse to play a video game
Sure.
and
Without getting harassed by me or saying,
right,
you're not paying attention to me.
right.
Yeah.
Well, you don't really do that. But yeah.
Oh, I was
I
trying to sound like, you know,
but you're not an egg.
oh, thanks, babe.
So,
Thanks, babe.
that's what I'm looking forward to. Of course, I like watching football as a secondary thing like in the background,
Sure.
but you're the true
Sure.
football fan.
So are you prepared for a loss and a victory? Because depending on what happens, that will, kind of outline what we're going to
Yes.
do for the rest of the evening. Okay.
Sure. I have an escape plan
Okay.
for a loss.
Okay.
So I have some screwdrivers I need to buy at the hardware store.
Great. Okay.
And for a win, I figured we would just, hang out and it would be nothing. I don't need to be afraid of anything, is what I'm
No,
saying.
no. Of course, then immediately after we win, I need to be prepared that in the next round, we're going to lose to probably the 49ers. So
Yeah.
I'm such a negative Nancy. Do you see how the Cowboys
Well,
have
you've been
completely,
conditioned, apparently.
completely screwed me up? All right. That was all I had to get off my chest.
That's cool.
Anything for you, babe?
Let's see. Well, okay. There was one thing I wanted to bring up.
Go for it.
So, I was at Target or Walmart the other day.
Without me?
No, I think you were with me.
Oh, okay.
I just think a lot of things, and I don't always say them out loud. Believe it or not, I don't always say them out loud.
Okay.
Um, so there's like ACT testing and SAT testing, and there's they test book smarts and stuff.
Right.
And I was thinking about like colleges and IQ tests and like how they, how people are measured on intelligence.
Right.
And when we were walking out of, I think it was Target,
Okay.
it was one of those
Sure.
box stores.
Mhm.
I was thinking another good test, and it would be kind of hard to do this, but is to see how long it takes for people when they step out of the store to move away from the door and to their vehicle. And so
Same with off an escalator.
off an escalator, off an escalator. And I thought of that. The reason I like the store one better is because there's off an escalator, you like, I can see where people are like, okay, where am I going to go next? Like what store? Like walking out of a
I don't
store,
see that.
you need to go to
Get out of the way.
right.
You're on a.
It's the same thing.
The people behind you are moving,
Right.
literally.
Right.
Okay.
So there's a couple tests there, right? Like, so
Yeah.
one of them is like your spatial awareness. Like, do I remember where my car is? I would never, I do very poorly at that. So I'm not making fun of these people that stand there. I just, but then the other one is like social awareness.
I was about ready to say, is this a intelligence test or a social awareness test?
So this test
Intelligence
complements.
can be social awareness.
Well, no, this test complements like a test score for book smarts.
Sure.
So it's just like, you want well-rounded individuals. I would say there's some emotional intelligence there too. Like, do you love your fellow humans? Move the fuck out of the way. Do you know where your car is? Okay, that's memory. That's like memory, spatial memory, and then social. Like, what are the social standards? We're living in a society here, as George Costanza says.
Are living in a society.
So, anyways,
is that where you got that? You say that all the time.
That's from Seinfeld.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, he yells it in one of the episodes.
We're living in a society. Okay.
Yeah.
I can pick. I don't know what you're talking about. I can just picture it.
Yeah. But anyways, that's what I was thinking.
I love your brain. So
thank you.
Follow up to this, because I always feel like someone needs an action item whenever a conversation is had. So our action item is then we're taking a stopwatch to the mall or Target next time we go.
Yeah, I think we should do.
Absolutely.
We should do
podcast episode number 7, because I maybe 25, because it's, y'all, it is minus 26 degrees outside right now.
Yeah. It's insane. That is not normal for our area.
And it's 61 degrees in the house.
Yeah.
So cold. So I'm wearing 3 shirts right now. Sweatshirt. This Dallas Cowboys sweatshirt is actually keeping me warm.
I have 2 pairs of pants on. I'm not gonna lie. I have pants under my sweatpants.
Have one. You know what? I guess I should have put like a blanket over me. Dang it. All right. It's all right. I'll do that during the Cowboys game. Okay.
All right.
Are we ready to find out who the fork Elliott Ness is?
Yeah, let's rock this.
How many? What guesses did you give me while we were preparing who Elliott Ness is? You came up with some off the wall ones.
Well, I made a joke of is he part of the Loch Ness Monster or something like that? But I mean, I kind of know he has something to do with like rap and R&B or something like that.
God, I love you. You know what? I'm going to tell you who he is.
Is that not right either?
It's not.
Oh, okay.
But I know why you think that.
Okay.
So here, let me tell you why I chose this topic, because I think it's important to know why a topic was chosen. And I asked you to you were wearing this sweatshirt earlier because it's 61 degrees in the house.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, babe, wear that shirt during the podcast episode today. And your response was,
why?
You said, what do you want me to look like, a Hoosier?
Yeah, you want me.
And I'm like, I love that sweatshirt. So wear it proud. Move the thing so everyone can see what it says. It says got salt, and then it has supernatural under it. So for anyone who doesn't know, and I'm going to highly recommend this, Supernatural is probably one of our favorite shows.
It's a great show.
One of my favorite shows.
No, it's a great show. I totally agree.
15 seasons.
I totally enjoyed watching it. It was great.
Okay. 15 seasons. Okay. And one of the episodes...
15 seasons, 23 episodes a season. So
42-minute episodes.
So 1 million episodes.
It was a large investment in our time.
It was a time investment.
I remember when we started watching Supernatural, like
1997.
No, very, very soon into our relationship, you were like, "You're gonna break up with me before we finish this
Yeah.
series."
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah, that's great that I
Um,
was wrong, I mean.
and then I cried remember I cried at the very last episode?
Yeah.
Because I've seen Supernatural probably 3 times every single episode. I just love the show.
One with each boyfriend.
Right. It's actually not a lie. And one time with my dad.
That's great.
It's very true too.
Was it the most fun with me, at
It
least?
started with my husband, then it was Jesse, then it was my dad, and then it was you. So 4 times every single episode.
Wow.
Sorry, I'm just being honest here.
Well, yeah,
You were the
I
only
would
one
like
who I
that.
got through season 1 through season 15.
All right. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Go team. Okay. Anyway, I really
Yeah, that was
digress.
random.
Sorry. So, in one of the episodes, I don't know what season.
Oh, you were going somewhere
I
with
really
this.
was.
Okay. All right. All right. I thought it was just like
I'm going somewhere.
Okay.
In one of the episodes of Supernatural, Dean is fighting. At the time, he doesn't know who. It turns out he's fighting the god of time, and he touches the god of time, and he goes back in time because he's the god of time. He can travel through time, and he's arrested by Elliott Ness. And in the
Oh,
episode,
yeah. I remember that
in the
episode.
episode, Dean is like, holy shit, you're Elliott Ness. He didn't say shit because it's like, not cable, but you're infamous, the Untouchables. And he, of course, at the time is like, what are you talking about? So that was my first thought of like,
Yeah.
okay. So then very shortly after that, we were listening to some Tupac in the car, as we typically do.
Yeah.
We love rocking some 90s rap. And the song California Love came on, and I will play it.
That's why I thought it was
I
a
will
rap
play as
thing.
much as I can. There's more reasons.
Okay.
But this was the second one that I was like, this was my straw that broke the camel's back moment where I'm like, I gotta know who this guy is. It's not like actually a bad thing, but so he goes, okay, I'm not gonna rap. Okay. Let me welcome everybody to the Wild Wild West, a state that's untouchable like Eliott Ness.
Heck yeah, I know
And I
that.
was like, this guy again. Who is this guy? Okay. So are you
All
ready?
right, I'm
All
ready.
right. Okay. So here are all the pop culture references that I found to Eliott Ness. Once I decided to go figure out who he was, I was like, okay, well, I got to just figure out who this guy is. He's mentioned in a Lil Wayne song. He's mentioned in a Fugees song, and I'll like try and play those. I don't know if you ever seen The Young Indiana Jones. It was like a series.
Yeah, I remember it. I don't remember if I watched it, but yeah.
It says Indiana Jones dorms with Ness at the University of Chicago and solved a murder mystery together connected to Al Capone and along with Ernest Hemingway. I'm not sure where Hemingway comes in. I think they were just trying to throw some characters together.
Sure.
The Untouchables was a movie. Sean Connery, never seen it. Probably should have watched it for this podcast.
It's a great movie.
Apparently, I love Sean Connery. He's alive, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then it was also a TV series. He's got beers named after him. He had a Simpsons episode done over him, just in case anyone wants to check it out. It's called Homer versus the 18th Amendment.
Wow.
And then
awesome.
Dick Tracy was inspired by him.
Okay.
Cool, right?
Yeah. I had no idea.
So all of these things, like if you think like Dick Tracy and just like Untouchables, and it's like makes you like, it really props this guy up. Like they're putting him on a pedestal. So I was like, is this guy really as good as they say? And what did he do to be that good?
Right.
Okay. So let me give you just some general facts and background on who Eliott Ness is. So he was born in Chicago in 1903, raised by middle-class parents who like ran a bakery. I'm assuming he worked in the bakery. His mother claimed, as mothers do, he was terribly good and never got a spanking. Okay. In 1903, they were beating their kids' butts.
I'm amazed you were able to dig that up.
Right. I put my heart and soul into these things.
Yeah.
I don't always deliver them properly, but I really care about the things
Was there
that I
like
research.
long dialogues between her and him, and that you just picked that piece out? Or
there were a lot of newspaper articles with quotes.
Okay.
So yeah,
So you were actually able. Yeah, I get it.
Okay. So Ness graduated from the University of Chicago in 1925 with a political science degree. Um, Apparently, he followed in the footsteps of Alexander Jamie, who was his sister's husband. I didn't do any research
Okay.
on this guy, but that's just like why he went that route.
Okay.
Seemed like he liked criminal justice. So he
Okay.
did some postgraduate work in criminal justice, and then he started in law enforcement almost immediately um, as a with a retail credit company in Chicago. You think they like called people like debt collectors?
Is retail credit like pawn shop? I don't understand. Back in 1903, what
No,
would
no,
that?
no. He was born in 1903, so this would have been like in 1928
Okay.
or so. So what was going on then? Like, I
The Dust Bowl.
don't
Seriously, I think that was right around there.
Someone tell us if
But in the West. It was in the
this
Southwest.
yeah, okay, this was in Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay. So then his brother-in-law, his bromance guy, hired him to go work at the US Department of Justice as a prohibition agent. So that's what was
Okay.
going on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Prohibition.
Right around that time.
So basically, yeah, that was along the time when you weren't allowed to sell, drink alcohol of any kind. It was
It was
real
the birth of organized crime. Prohibition.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So there he is, working in Chicago as a young hotshot agent, nothing to lose. So I have to take a pause on who is Elliott Ness for a second, because to fully understand why Eliott Ness is as infamous as he is made out to be in all of these songs and movies and TV shows, you have to understand another person or know about another person, Al Capone,
Okay.
who I'm sure everyone who's like
Yeah.
Al Capone's, so
Famous Chicago gangster.
like boss pit. What do they call him? Like,
Pit boss.
pit boss. No, I think that's like like a
Oh, that's a
casino thing.
casino thing, yeah.
God, we're such
Head
losers.
boss.
He was a head boss.
He was the head.
Isn't
I know exactly. Oh, you're talking about The Godfather?
that the same thing?
I mean, I don't know, the movie The Godfather, I think it was based off of stuff like that.
I don't
That'll be
know.
another episode.
What city was that in? Chicago. It had to be. New York?
No, yeah, that was New York,
Oh,
and
okay.
then they moved to Las Vegas in 2.
Okay. All right. Well, Capone took over the business, like seriously,
Yeah,
air quote business.
right.
After Johnny Torrio was shot 3 times. Um, it is said that he had a mutually agreeable profitable relationship with the mayor of Chicago. So like he
Gotcha.
basically had the government in his back pocket, police in his back pocket, and
This is Capone or the guy before Capone?
so sorry. I'm gonna go with it was the guy before him, but
Okay,
Capone took it over.
got it.
So either way, Capone is the guy we're focused on. We don't care about Johnny
Yeah, and
Torrio
they're well
anymore.
connected. He's well connected with his
He's
gang.
real
I
dead.
got it.
Yeah. So gangsters heavily profited off of the illegal breweries and speakeasies
Okay.
that they ran during this prohibition period. I'm talking it was like their major financial income. So Capone became increasingly violent. And let me just say this first is that at first people were like, "Oh, cool. We have a place to go drink alcohol and do like go to like bars and like have alcohol." So they were cool with it, but he became increasingly violent, um like trying to get new territory or more territory for the other rival gangs
Okay.
in Chicago. So the most notorious one, I'll say not one, but the most notorious act of violence that they did is called the St. Valentine Day Massacre.
Okay. I think I remember hearing about this.
I've heard about it, but honestly I didn't really quite know what that meant. But basically, and I'm going to say that Al Capone was never directly implicated for any of these crimes, but it was just said that he called the hit
Sure.
on a rival North Side Chicago game, George Bugs Moran, which sounds like kind of familiar to me a little bit. But anyway, so he lined them up against the wall of a garage in broad daylight and had even 2 people there that were dressed. I'm not sure if they were actually police officers or just posing as police officers, and just
Wow.
murdered them all one by one.
Wow.
Yeah. Um, you
I think
gotta.
I remember that. You can still see the I think I maybe on the History Channel I saw, you can actually see the wall where the bullet holes are maybe.
That's cool.
I could be wrong, but
That's cool.
yeah. Let's just pretend like it's right.
No, it sounds pretty cool. Anyway, did I say it was 7 members of the gang?
Yeah.
7 of them just gone.
Wow.
So after that, and even actually before that, there were too many murders to even like talk about. Let's just say he was not a very nice gentleman.
Right.
Okay. Um,
No.
so what has started to happen is
Extorting the small businesses was probably also mean of him.
he did a lot of a-hole shit.
Yeah, for sure.
So the city like started to get real pissed, and there was outcry for the governor to do something, and they literally just couldn't ignore it anymore. It didn't matter that he had, part of the
All those
government
ties. Yeah.
and police officers in their back pocket. So um this is where Eliott Ness comes back into the picture.
Okay.
So so Al Capone, we're focused on Eliott Ness now. Okay.
Got it.
Okay. So in 1930, the attorney general put together a team led by Elliott Ness. He basically got to go and pick his team. And he was really smart about this. So, what he did is he recruited people from across the nation that didn't live in Chicago. So, they were coming in fresh.
Mm.
So, they were not already infiltrated
They weren't,
by
yeah, corruption.
by the
They weren't
gangsters.
corrupted
Yeah.
yet.
And
Got it.
basically, I'm assuming did some kind of, personality test to make sure they wouldn't
It
be.
was probably making them walk outside of Walmart and
Right.
seeing if
Just
if they move quickly.
how fast do you get the fuck out of the way?
I'm sure that I would do that if I were him. But okay.
So we put together this team. And the very first thing that they started to do was they started to stake out Al Capone's speakeasy businesses and breweries. They basically just did a ton of undercover work, and they would send people in to pose as, just patrons or, people delivering stuff. So they figured out their trucking routes, like how they were moving the, I'll say alcohol. I don't know if it was beer, but I'll say alcohol back and forth.
Okay.
And I guess I guess they got a hold of one of the trucks and ran it straight through the doors of
Wow.
one of the speakeasies, like not
That's
giving
badass.
anyone inside time to get
That's
out.
really badass.
It was it sent a message, is what I can
Right.
imagine. So the newspapers started to catch on as they started to bring down these speakeasies, and kind of crippled Al Capone's business and finances, and like took away a lot of his power, as like the power shifted, and the newspapers were trying to like put the, not the newspaper, well, I guess the newspapers too, but police were trying to put the public at ease, let them know that they were doing something about all this crime. So it was heavily publicized, everything he was doing. And he was like really seen as a heroic figure in the community. And that's a newspaper back in Chicago at the time dubbed him and his team the Untouchables. So like the
Okay.
movie, like I was like, the movie didn't come up with that. The newspaper actually said that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So
Which is another good movie. I've seen it, and they probably even reference Elliott Ness. I just don't remember that. The movie The Untouchables?
yeah, I haven't seen it. Should we watch it after the Cowboys game?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So like there were lots of attempts on Ness's life. There were lots of attempts on his team's life, all successful attempts to bribe his team, all unsuccessful. He pretty much just continued his Boy Scout ways. Um, so I guess the thing I was asking was, okay, so he brought this down. So how did he finally bring down Al Capone and like his mob of gangsters? And it was not the murders, the so many murders that he's not implicated in, but associated with. I thought he was associated with. It's not the it's not all the bootlegging and the alcohol. It's tax evasion.
I have heard that before.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought that was
That's
funny.
they got him on tax evasion.
Yeah.
Whatever
So
works.
Right.
I
So
guess.
he, they did the research. They figured out he wasn't paying taxes, and basically Al Capone's business was, you know,
Yeah.
was taken down, unraveled. The city of Chicago is safe again. So pretty cool. Um.
Until that, the mayor in the 90s was like found on a bunch of corruption charges. But yeah, I
Oh,
forgot what his name was. It was the
for
same.
what?
It was the same mayor that after 9/11 he bulldozed the airport that was right outside of Chicago, and it's now like a concert venue now.
Why? Wait, what?
He didn't want like another terrorist attack in Chicago.
Another
I
terrorist
or
attack?
he didn't want a terrorist attack in
Oh,
Chicago
okay.
after 9/11. So like he just instead of like asking, he just had a bunch of bulldozers in the middle of the night go and level the airport.
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
I thought that was kind of cool, but then later he was convicted on or he got kicked out. I don't know if he was convicted, but he had a lot of corruption.
Hmm.
Not tied to Al Capone. This is in the
Right.
90s. Yeah.
Just
Actually, it wouldn't have been the 90s. It would have been in the 2000 like right after
I was gonna
2011.
say,
Sorry about
what was
that.
he? What was he?
Hey, listen, I'm not a historian.
Foreshadowing.
I'm not a historian. I just know I saw a Fish concert at the concert venue. So
Oh, okay. That's how we
that's
know.
why I know that's why it's a
Mm,
Waverly Island.
okay. Okay. I think I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So in 1933,
Okay.
Prohibition was repealed.
All
Yay.
right.
And he went on to become a tax agent. Thought that was kind of like, he was kind of like, right?
Yeah, a little safer, little boring,
Maybe
little safer.
less glory.
Yeah.
But he still was able to shut down bootlegging operations, which I don't really know why there was. I don't really know why there was bootlegging operations after prohibition was repealed. Maybe because they still made money off of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the Appalachian Mountains.
It's another
Oh, like,
topic.
don't they still make like moon? Aren't there shows like on the History Channel or something about people making moonshine in the
Mhm.
Appalachian Mountains? So they still do it today.
Yeah. I mean, it's a whole brand of
Right.
alcohol, I
I can't
guess.
honestly say I've ever had moonshine.
No.
No. Okay. So then Ness was like, I'm done with you, Chicago. I've done everything I can do. It's kind of like, when you win the World Series or the Super Bowl, you should just like retire. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he went
Drop the mic.
he went on to another corrupted city, Cleveland, Ohio. Who knew?
Wow.
I know, right? So he was put as the safety director in charge of the police and fire
Okay, so this
departments.
is after he was a tax person. Or
This was after prohibition. He was a tax person, and then
then he did this.
he's like, fuck this shit. I hate taxes. And he went to
All
Cleveland.
right.
Yeah. Still probably seeking glory. So apparently so they say in the newspapers, who knows? I think once a hero, always a hero. Or is it people always try to defame heroes and like bring them down? I feel like that's more of a today thing, maybe not a
It
1940
does seem like it's more of a today thing.
thing. Hmm. Anyway, so he kept up his reputation of being honest and like not being able to be bought, and slowly started to weed out corrupted cops in Cleveland. I have
Nice.
like no examples, so
I'll take your word for it.
I am taking their word for it. So I just want to say that I personally didn't find a specific example. Um, I did find a quote from a 1937 American magazine wrote about Ness and said, "With an innocent smile, this scientific sleuth recently rounded up 100 witnesses, convicted 2 police captains of taking bribes, and indicted 7 other guardians of the law."
Wow.
So I guess he did it. I just couldn't. I don't know what they are.
Yeah,
Seem
that's awesome.
seems very specific. So I guess he also took down some another mob. I guess Cleveland had mobs. Who knew? Uh, another mob hangout called the Harvard Club, arresting 20 gangsters in closing of a notorious establishment.
Wow.
Who knew?
Yeah.
So
He's definitely kind of a badass.
okay, babe, that's literally what I was about ready to say.
Okay.
He was a badass in his career. What was his personal life like? That's what I want to know.
Man, I bet he just immersed himself. I mean, there like I don't know that he had a whole lot of personal life.
Okay.
That's my guess.
So while he was raiding speakeasies and taking down bootlegging operations, he was known to be a philanderer and drank during Prohibition himself. Probably just stole Al
Yeah,
Capone's.
he run the car in there and then take a
Right.
few barrels and then
Yeah.
bring him back to his apartment.
You know what this brings me back to?
What?
The Roman cargo ship that you were talking about on your last thing. If you find a Roman cargo ship with gold in it, you skim a
Yeah,
little
you
bit off the
skim it. You
top.
skim.
He's Let's see if we can bring it back to that every single time, okay? Something with the cats or the
All right.
or the Antikythera mechanism
Yeah.
from the first episode. Go check it out. It's pretty awesome. So he went through 3 marriages and was involved in a drunk driving accident,
Wow.
which eventually led him to resigning as the safety director because he tried to do some cover up
Really?
of it. Yeah,
It's
it's kind of
it's
disappointing.
like do as I say, not as I do type of thing.
Yeah. So he so that was it. He died. Or no, he didn't die. Sorry. He resigned. Sorry, he's still alive.
Wait, he's still alive?
Hold on. No, he's not still alive. I'm so
He's still alive back then.
right.
Okay.
He didn't die. He resigned.
All right, I'm with you now.
That's what I meant to say. He moved to Washington D.C., where he tried to clean up prostitution.
Wow, he was all over the
He
place.
really was trying to like do good. I
He was
think
wrestling with his inner
he
demons
was.
the whole
He
time.
was around a military base, which was running rampant with venereal. Couldn't say that disease.
Venereal disease.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He tried unsuccessfully to run for the mayor of Cleveland. I guess that was before he moved to Washington, D.C. I probably should have put that first.
Man,
I know. And then by the end of his life, he was doing odd jobs like selling electric components.
really?
And
Oh my gosh, it's so all over the place.
I know he had 3 marriages, all that failed. Um, and his final job, he sat down with an author who I don't know, maybe you do, Oscar Fraley, to like
Mm,
basically just document his life. And then he died kind of young of the heart attack, age 54.
he did a lot.
He did a lot.
Good for him.
Good for
Except
him.
for all the bad stuff that he did. It,
Yeah. So he was, I think that, like, in the end, I was like, okay, so he had some personal issues, but I think like doing right by the public is
yeah, it's kind of
minus that drunk driving thing. That's
yeah.
kind of bad.
I forgot if you said anything really bad, but I was the whole time I'm kind of like picturing this scale in my
Were you
head.
not listening? Should I do it again?
Mm, I mean, I was listening to most of it.
Okay.
I'm picturing the scale in my head, and there's like
Yeah.
tipping.
Sure.
In the beginning, he's like way good,
Right.
and then. But I think overall, he seems like a really great guy.
I'm going to go with at the end, he was in such like the height of his life and career with the whole being a hero. And I picture crowds pulling up in the air and like, you know, like the end of the what movie was that? What movie was that? The football movie? Okay.
Oh yeah, like hoisting him up, and yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
Okay, I don't know. I can't remember the name of that movie.
Rudy,
Rudy.
yeah,
Thank you. Anyway, that's how I picture him. And
that's
then he
cool.
was like, I'm a tax agent. I'm dealing with
Right,
venereal disease.
right, and he's kind of like
So he's
boring.
depressed, probably.
Yeah,
So
it's,
anyway,
it's
I think he still probably deserves all the accolades that he's
yeah,
gotten. So bringing down notorious gangsters, upholding the law, pretty
yeah.
cool. Pretty cool. So anyway, that's who
That was
Elliott Ness
really
is.
interesting.
Now we all know.
I this is
Let me
so this
welcome everybody to the wild, wild west.
dun,
A taste that's
dun,
untouchable
dun,
like Elliott
dun,
Ness.
dun, dun,
I don't know those the words.
California.
No
No,
doubt
all right.
about it.
Anyways,
All right. Well,
well,
I already forgot what yours was.
so mine is the oldest Homo sapiens.
Safe.
Sapiens.
Safe, not safe.
Sapiens.
Safe.
It's a ph. It's
Okay.
oldest Homo sapiens.
This is different from the oldest analog computer.
Yeah. So here's how I. It's
Okay.
interesting because I was wrong about Elliott Ness. Like I thought he was something to do with. Well, I thought he was
Hip
something to
hop?
do with like the very beginning like back when the Fat Boys started in rap, like
Okay.
early rap. And
Yeah.
obviously I was really wrong, but I still was, when I thought of that, I was like, okay, he's like the original gangster. And by the way, is it like the last 5 years where everything is OG now? I keep
I
seeing
don't
like
know what OG means.
original gangster.
Fuck.
So
See?
like, so I always hear people say like he's like that's like the OG of blah blah blah, and or
Weren't we listening to someone the other day and you were like, these are the first rappers or something? And I was like,
maybe, but like people use OG for everything.
okay.
So, and I never knew. I'm old.
You're way cooler than me,
No, no,
though.
no. I'm old. So like
Understood.
everyone in the world knew what this was before me.
Okay.
And I went into a restaurant one time. It was a sushi burrito restaurant, and it said the OG roll. And I was just like, what does that mean? So I had to look it up on the internet, and
Well, thank you for telling me
it
5
means
years later.
original gangster. Yeah, that was probably about 4 or 5 years ago. So
Okay.
I don't know why people started saying it. I mean, I get it, but so I thought he was an original gangster,
Got it.
like not a roll,
Well,
not a sushi burrito.
he
It
took
was
down the most notorious gangsters, so you
right.
were kind of
I
close.
know. So like it still kind of matches up with my train of thought, which is he was the original
Mhm.
gangster. Who are the original gangster humans?
Oh,
There you go.
that's quite the leap.
There's a funny I think it was Dana Carvey. Remember Dana Carvey?
Yes.
He had good stand up.
He's still alive, right?
Yeah,
I'm
Dana
just
Carvey.
going to ask if everyone's
I
alive.
love Dana Carvey. So he had a really funny stand up where he said it's like impossible to look cool drinking out of a straw. He's like, so and he was like, hey, like he was like trying to like sweet talk a female like on stage, like he was joking. But then he's like saying smooth stuff, and then he's like, it was just so funny. So I was picturing that because
Okay, well, now
anyways,
so
we don't need to use that.
I bet, here.
I think it was kind of what he did.
Did that look cool?
You actually did make it look nice.
Nice.
Okay, so Elliott Ness, original gangster, bringing it back to the original humans. This I didn't go back like the Lucy. There was a Lucy fossil that was found way long time ago. I won't even I can't quote it because I forgot how old it was, but not a Homo sapien. Just that was like the first fossil they found of um bipedal like upright walking on
Okay.
I'm not going to sound very smart, but
I
walking on 2
almost
feet.
need a diagram. And I don't mean to sound stupid because I mean, maybe I do. I don't care. Like, you know how they like have like the pictures that show like this was for second, third?
Yeah.
Which one are you talking about?
Well, the Lucy one's really old. So I'm talking about Homo
That's not even a
sapien.
Homo sapien.
Homo sapiens are like the close are us.
Okay.
They're us.
The first generation of us.
Yeah. The beginnings of humans as they are today.
Okay.
And like, we're Homo sapiens.
Sure.
So they're
Okay, you keep saying safe. I thought it was safe. Okay, I don't know.
how do you say Homo sapiens phonetically?
We are looking at how to pronounce this word, well, this name, as well as how to say more interesting and often mispronounced expressions too, including from Latin, so make sure to stay tuned and say the name of this species. Homo sapiens, our species.
Sapiens. You were right.
Dude.
Homo sapiens.
Okay,
Who's
that guy?
Who's that guy?
I know we should give him credit since I used his. Let's see here. If anybody wants to hear more of him,
I do. I almost want you to play the whole thing again.
all right, hold on. How do you find out like who a person is? Like I'm trying to.
I don't know.
Oh, Julian Miguel. Julian Miguel. If anybody wants to learn more about that,
I will give him credit. Thank you for teaching us
thanks,
how to
Julian.
say. Mm-hmm.
Appreciate that. Got a nice voice there, buddy.
Yeah, right?
Way better than mine.
Wow, he's like smooth.
Like he just, yeah, he's just Anyways,
Anyway.
he's killing. He's like the Elliott Ness of pronunciation. So he's the OG of pronunciation.
Mm-hmm.
All right, back to Homo sapiens.
Thank you.
Is that right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel a little foolish.
It sounds better to my ears.
I feel a little foolish, but not.
Eh.
I'm still good. I mean, this isn't. I'm not a historian, babe.
No.
So
you have a day job.
The oldest fossil, not the first fossil, the oldest fossil of Homo sapiens was
No,
found.
you're still saying safe.
Let's just roll with it.
Okay.
Let's just pretend like it's my accent.
Okay.
All right. So the first Homo sapiens fossil was found in 1961, and it was dated to about 300,000 years ago.
Holy fuck. Where in the world was it found?
Okay, so this was found in Morocco, and it's here's another spelling I'm going to completely butcher, but I tried to do phonetically. It's Zebel Irhoud.
Do you think Julio?
Morocco.
Do you think Julio has it?
I don't know. Probably.
Julio, help us out.
And it actually looks like it starts with a J, but it's
Say it again.
It starts with a J, but it's Zebel Irhoud.
Okay.
Morocco.
Can I put it like on a map, like above our heads or something?
Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to, knowing that people like me are not that good at geography. So picture this: the southern tip of Spain. There's the Strait of Gibraltar. Strait of Gibraltar, which we've all heard of. You know, it's in history, and then you've got Morocco right underneath that, and then along the top of Africa, the northwestern part of Africa, and then along, if you travel down the west side of Africa on the coast, and you've got this area there.
Okay.
And I forgot how many miles, but it's somewhere up in the tip northwestern part of Africa.
Stupid question, maybe.
I probably don't have an answer.
I know we're talking about Africa, but 300,000 years ago, was that Ice Age territory?
No.
Okay. How far down did that go?
This is about the earliest Homo sapiens.
Oh, sorry.
You give me a lot of credit. Like, I just don't know things like that.
Well, maybe if I'm wondering it, maybe someone else is.
Okay. Sounds like another topic.
Okay.
So in 1961, a miner was going through a cave, and there's some sort of a mineral in there that they forgot, and not important. He finds a skull lodged in this mineral deposit, picks it up, gives it to somebody. That person keeps it as a souvenir for a while. I don't know how long. I don't know the person's name.
Weird.
Anyways, yeah, like on their desk.
Right.
Like, what were they doing?
Was it a paperweight?
Like, yeah, were they?
That's weird. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe it was like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, where they served those little.
Oh.
They turned the skull upside down, and then they served those like worms in it.
That's our second reference to Indiana Jones in 2 episodes.
Oh wow! And you did it earlier today.
I did?
Or early in this episode, yeah. Indiana Jones, the young Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh god. Okay.
Anyway, somehow it made it to people who know what they're doing, and they use several methods to date this thing. There's I saw 4 different types of different methods. They're all interesting, but the one I just picked one just to talk about: luminescence dating. Okay, so you've heard of carbon 14 dating?
Not only have I heard about it in one of my
2 different
topics,
things, first of all,
that I'm not going to tell you about, because we don't tell each other about our topics. I talk about dating as well, and that's the dating that I talk about.
Oh, okay. So carbon 14 dating is good up to about 50,000 years.
Okay.
And this is 300,000 years ago. Okay. So that's why I looked up how are they able to date that?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's 4 different things they use. They combine them all, and then maybe they take an average of what they figure out. I don't know. Luminescence dating is one of them. It says it's the method. So it actually looks at how long it's been since light has touched the object. Pretty cool.
I know.
No idea how they do that. And there's one where they look at the different layers of Earth, and they can, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they dated this. Prior to that, find in 1961, the oldest fossil they found of a Homo sapiens was 200,000 years ago. And actually, it was 260,000. Sorry, there was one I found in between the 200,000.
Mm-hmm.
The 260,000 one was in Florisbad. Let's just say it's Florisbad, South Africa. And I'm really sorry for anybody that's from there or lives there. I really apologize. I'm not intentionally trying to offend you. It just is going to offend you.
Sure. Oh, wait, the next thing you say?
No, that was that.
Oh, okay.
Like any word that is
Nah,
too big for my brain,
be less
I
sensitive.
apologize. Yeah, that's true. It's like obviously
At some point, it's you.
Yeah, obviously I'm not trying to hurt people here.
No.
So 260,000 years ago, and then I keep wanting to say before that, but it's really the next fossil after that was about 195,000 to 200,000 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and that was in Omo Kabish, Ethiopia, and that's in East Africa. So you've got this time span from like 195,000 years ago to 200,000, 60, and then you got a 300,000.
Right.
And one of them's in Northwest Africa. One of them's in, like, if you follow Africa around the north to the eastern coast, that's where the Ethiopian one is. And then if you follow that coastline all the way down to South Africa, that's where the 260,000 year one is. I know I'm not painting a very big picture, but just, Africa is huge. They're in 3 different spots, right?
No, I get it.
So it's kind of,
one's in the north, one's in the south, one's in the east.
Yeah. So when they found this one that was 300,000 years ago, the original one I was talking about, the OG,
the OG
in Morocco, it challenged some things.
I'm gonna try to find like a picture because like I can imagine the skull doesn't look.
There are really good pictures out there.
Okay, probably doesn't look like the same as like a skull today looks.
Yeah, there's a little bit, like, it's a little more elongated skull than what we have.
Interesting. I would have thought the skull was smaller because I would have thought our brains have gotten bigger.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, Neanderthals, didn't they have like giant? That was before humans, but anyways, that's another topic.
Wow.
So they found it in all 3 of these areas, and it challenged the thinking of like scientists, because it made them realize that people evolved in different regions of Africa at the same time. And what it helped people understand, or the scientists understand, is that you've got different populations would migrate to different parts of Africa based on, where there was food, or
pissed off by their parents.
Yeah.
Getting the fuck out of there.
Bad breakups.
You think that shit had to happen?
Yeah, they're like, I got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like, this is just,
that one movie where the guy,
I need a change of environment.
That guy followed a wolf across like the world. I've never seen that movie. Okay.
Is that a real movie, or did you just make that up?
I think it's a movie.
Are you talking about Cujo?
No.
Not Cujo?
No.
And so it challenged the thinking, because it kind of made scientists realize that that's how those different environmental factors, and the fact that Africa has all these different types of environments and
it does
temperatures, and well, it's huge. Yeah. So from northern Africa to southern Africa, there's a huge swing of different.
So like northern Africa is at the same spatial line as maybe like the bottom of Florida, I think.
Oh boy, you're really challenging me here.
I'm gonna pull it up.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. So long story short is they're not confined to a single geographic location.
Got it.
And the cool thing about that is, because they're in these different areas, and we're talking about thousands and thousands of years, this isn't from us to the Egyptians. It's like huge spaces of time.
Yeah.
That's a huge space of time in my mind, but like we're talking about way huge.
Yeah. Cleopatra was like, just died like a minute ago.
Compared to that.
To that.
Yeah. So
was it Cleopatra 1 or Cleopatra 7?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So in each of these different environments, humans would evolve to have traits specific to help them survive in those areas. And so what it did is it made our gene pool more diverse, which actually made us to be who we are today, because you have traits that are good for hot climates and cool climates, and there's just all sorts of things, and then that diverse gene pool like helped us all out, right?
Damn it. You should have done this episode when I did the Where's My Tail episode. I'll do that one next.
Well, you just told me what it was.
No, I didn't.
Where's my tail? Anyways, tail as in
just move on.
Like a story? I can't wait to hear this.
It's going to be good. Next episode.
So to summarize, in summarization, is that how you say it?
In summary, I don't know.
In conclusion,
sure.
I
think if you're going to conclude, you have to actually have a conclusion.
Yeah, and I really don't. And here's why. Like, who's to say they're not going to find like an older fossil somewhere? And like, it's just we keep finding things.
Yeah.
So
do you
there is no conclusion.
Do you happen to know?
That's just what we know now.
The answer can be fuck off.
Yeah.
What was the oldest one they've found in North America?
Fuck off.
Understood.
No, I have no idea.
Because it would be interesting to know, like, how did they get to Africa?
Oh yeah, there's a migratory map that was really cool.
Okay, cool. We should link to that.
Yeah, so the oldest humans, I can explain it a little bit. The oldest humans we know about. Definitely in the Africa region, based on fossils that they found.
It makes sense because it was
southern Africa. It's those three,
cold as
like
balls
those
farther north.
Yeah, it's those three areas we were talking about. So you got the northwestern, you've got the eastern.
Why didn't Eskimos ever be like, "There's got to be a better way to life"? They're just like, "This is just life. We're cold."
Yeah, I mean they rock it though, right?
I guess.
Well, that's interesting because they actually have, like, and all humans can do this. If you're in cold climates for a really long time, you actually have like a extra layer of fat that you grow, and it serves as insulation.
Wow,
isn't that crazy?
So did the northern Africans have that?
That's adaptability, not evolution necessarily. That's adapting to your environment. So, anyways, going back to Africa, you've got these three different areas, and they're migrating along the coasts of Africa.
Makes sense.
The most, that they know about. Mm-hmm. And then they slowly would go, and then more modern humans, they migrated in like across the Strait of Gibraltar, and then it just spreads over there. There is a really cool map I found online.
Okay.
That if we ever figure out how to link stuff, we should put that on there. You already know how to do that? You looked at me like I was insane. So in summary, oldest human fossils were around 300,000 years ago. So that's why we think Homo sapiens started around 300,000 years ago. And the rest is history. And those, do you think they aspired back then? They're like, someday somebody's going to do a podcast about us?
Oh.
Probably not. They were probably just trying.
Can I honestly tell you what I was
probably
thinking?
Just making sure they had their next meal.
But can I honestly tell you what I was thinking?
I know you will.
I was thinking two things. Number one, Eskimos, man. I feel bad for them. We should do a podcast on Eskimos because that was just like, they just didn't know. Like,
are you thinking Eskimos are in Africa?
No, I'm not.
Just wanted to be clear because you keep bouncing to another continent.
Because they're because I'm like, yeah, you were in Africa because it was cold as balls up north. But if you were already up north and all of your family lived...
Well, that's where they think Homo sapiens originated in Africa.
That's what I'm saying. And there were generations that just never knew the earth was like warm in places and there was a better way of life.
Yeah, that is pretty wild.
They didn't have Twitter,
well, they made it
or whatever
work.
It's called these days.
They made it work and they were just like, I guess we'll just hang out.
The second thing I was thinking when you said maps, just so you know how my brain works, was we need to find a supernatural map. When we go do our supernatural like road trip and go to all the places that they went to, I want to get like a map and like mark them off.
Yeah.
Like where we've been to. It'll be fun.
That will be fun.
That's like our retirement plan, right?
For people that didn't watch Supernatural, which is most of you, That is, they went to like different small towns almost every episode.
Every episode.
Yeah.
Like just small
in the
town.
United States. It was
yeah.
Most of it was in the United States.
99%.
99%.
Okay. All right, that was fun. Good team. I had fun. I hope you guys did too.
Fun too. I liked your topic better as usual, but it was great.
Okay, well, you already know what mine is for next time.
Tales, so as either pet tales or stories.
Stay tuned to find out. I hope you guys had fun.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you all for listening. That's a wrap for today. Remember, this is not just a podcast, it's an interactive experience. If you've got a burning topic you want us to try and butcher next, drop it in the comments below. And if we pick your brainchild, you might just find yourself sitting in the hot seat as our honorary guest host. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode, and follow us on all of our listening platforms. Until next time, stay curious.